The race for Speaker has begun. It's May 29th, 2024, and these are your headlines. Well, it was a bad night to be an incumbent member of the Texas House. Of course, all eyes were on the David Covey-Dade Phelan race, where Dade Phelan narrowly got victory there, winning by just a few hundred votes after spending $10, $11, $12 million on that race, nearly $1,000 per vote, and having Democrats cross over to vote for him. Some are saying that that may be the straw that will move closed primaries finally in Texas. But while Dade Phelan was celebrating his victory in Beaumont, his allies across the state were having a completely different night. State Representative Stephanie Klick was beat by David Lowe. Lynn Stuckey was beat by Andy Hopper. Frederick Frazier, the disgraced former police officer with his own legal problems, was beat by Carissa Richardson. Justin Holland was beat by former Trump spokeswoman Katrina Pearson. Dwayne Burns and John Kemple also fell to Helen Kerwin and Alan Schoolcraft, respectively. And so it was a very, very bad night to be an incumbent. Combine last night's results with what we saw happen in March, and you have now seen about 15 or so incumbent members of the legislature defeated in this primary cycle. And that's not even taking into account, by the way, members like Andrew Murr, the architect of the House's impeachment of Ken Paxton, who decided they weren't even going to run. They decided not to run for re-election. Of the incumbents that survived, well, there's only two. That's State Representative Gary Van Dever and Speaker Dade Phelan himself. Now, State Representative Tom Oliverson says of his race for Speaker of the House is moving to the next level. In March, Oliverson announced his candidacy for Speaker, promising a series of reforms, including ending Phelan's practice of awarding chairmanship positions to Democrats. And though Phelan won re-election to his House seat last night, whether or not he'll be Speaker again is yet to be determined. In a statement today following the election results, which saw, of course, numerous incumbent Phelan allies defeated, Tom Oliverson promised to take the vote to the floor of the House. He wrote, "Last night's results made clear that Dade Phelan will be returning to the Texas House as a member. The only thing left to decide is whether he will be returning as Speaker. The conservative Republican majority in Texas have spoken. They want the Texas House to move in a different direction. They're fed up with the status quo and are clamoring for change." He went on to say the fact that 9 GOP members decided not to seek re-election and 14 members were replaced by the voters proves that point. He then put out any speculation that there won't be a contested Speaker vote. He said the Republican majority will get the chance to go on the record as to whether or not they choose to continue to be ruled by Democrat chairs, sit idly while House leadership wastes the first 60 days of the session, chafe under a parliamentary system that is weaponized against them, suffer another session without votes on key conservative priorities, and watch as leadership kills their bills over petty personality differences. He said the Speaker's race should begin by nomination and caucus of the majority party, not in a brokered backroom deal that empowers the tyranny of the minority. My campaign for Speaker moves to the next level today. Now, thus far, only Phelan and Oliverson have announced their intentions to run for the Speaker of the House, though Republican State Representative Shelby Slauson, who's rumored to be considering a run, recently wrote an op-ed this week in which she compared Dade Phelan to an arsonist attempting to be fire chief.
Each weekday, join the Texas Minute for a first look at the top news of the Lone Star State. I'm Michael Quinn Sullivan, the host of the Texas Minute. The Texas Minute exists to make sure real Texans have the news they need to affect Texas. You can find the Texas Minute at TexasScorecard.com or everywhere you listen to podcasts.
A story out of Dallas, more internal communications have been released showing that Dallas Independent School District organized LGBT trainings for teachers at schools around the district. The Dallas Express obtained internal communications from an open records request, revealing that Dallas ISD organized the training events in collaboration with an employee of a local transgender clinic. Dallas ISD's coordinator of support services for LGBTQ youth, Mahogany Gaston, coordinated with Leslie McMurray, the Transgender Education and Advocacy Associate with the Resource Center, to schedule a series of trainings for teachers on supporting LGBTQ youth at elementary, middle, and high schools in 2022. The Resource Center is a Dallas-based clinic that offers cross-sex hormones and reference letters for gender mutilative surgeries, as well as legal assistance for changing gender markers on government documents. Well, last week, another set of emails between Gaston and McMurray revealed that Dallas ISD sought advice from the Resource Center on how to help gender-confused students transition. Additionally, earlier this year, it was reported that Dallas ISD published a resource guide advising children on how to change genders. The document recommended various transgender clinics, gave resources on how to socially, legally, and medically transition, and listed books for elementary students about gender-confused children. The document was said to only be available to adults who requested it, but it was found out it was shared publicly through the social media platform X. The document has since been locked and is only available through request. For more of today's stories, go to TexasScorecard.com.